Hi, welcome to today's video diary for Finding My Way with Pi, Purpose, Intention, and Emotion. I am Pi, and I am thinking about today allowing myself the space for reflection and continued growth. So, that is the true nature of the video diaries and curiously examining my emotions. And what I meant by my opening statement was, have you ever had a day where you wake up, you're looking forward to the day, and things maybe don't go quite the way you were expecting or what you were anticipating? And then you find yourself getting pissy. But you're telling yourself, it's really no big deal. None of this was set in stone anyways. It was kind of just a thought. And, no harm, no foul. But you continue to feel pissy. So then you start saying to yourself, what is wrong with you? What are you upset about? There's nothing to be upset about here. Which actually makes it worse. Well, that was my morning. And what I did in that moment, so today was a Sunday, and I had the time and the space to be able to do this. So thankfully and luckily for that, I'll have to think about, what if this happens on a weekday or a busier day, or, when we've got a bunch of stuff going on, how might I be able to apply this? But here's what I did today. So I thought, this is only escalating, this feeling of pissiness. I'm frustrated about something. It's not fully clear in my mind what that is, but I do feel it in myself, and this emotion is here. I don't have anything that's crazy pressing right now. It's a Sunday morning, and so I'm just going to stop. I'm going to do 20 minutes of yoga. I'm going to focus on my breath, and I'm going to let it settle. Just let my body settle, let my mind settle, my nervous system, and let everything get back into alignment. And also maybe that'll give me some space to hear what it is that's causing this reaction for me. So I did, and interestingly, I chose a yoga practice called Let It Go, and it was all about if you're just having a day and if you're just pissy, what you need to hear within yourself, and also just centering yourself again, following your breath, letting everything settle. So that's what I did. And I'm telling you, within about 10 minutes, it was a 20-minute yoga practice, and within about 10 minutes, it was clear. Oh, that's what I'm frustrated about. I felt it gripped in my low back. I felt it gripped in my jaw and in my neck and in the back of my head, in my legs. It was like this tension that I was holding. Now, with the yoga practice we went through some vinyasa flows and, following the breath. And I found I was able to center myself, accept that what I was feeling frustrated about, and then be able to say it out loud authentically when I was done with my yoga practice. So I was able to talk to hubby and say, hey, I was feeling pissy about this thing, and this is why. Because it felt like, I got shut down in this situation, and I'm curious what is going on in your head during this situation, because I don't believe that was intentional. And so he was able to share with me, oh, actually I was, feeling like I didn't want you to have to spend your time doing something maybe you don't love to do. And so that's why I was hesitating around it. And it was just so interesting to hear the different perspectives and to understand each of us was coming from a good place, a completely different perspective and point of view. And then we were able to dig even further into where might that have come from? Why do we assume that story? Was it automatic? Was it something in our history? Was it like family of origin patterns? What was going on with that? So, maybe another time we'll delve into it more, But what I wanted to acknowledge today for myself, so hopefully I remember, and maybe just as a tip to help any of you who may find this helpful. The fact that when an emotion like anger or pissiness or frustration comes up, often we try to stuff it or worse, make ourselves feel bad for feeling it in the first place by thoughts like, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing that? There's really nothing wrong. Well, listen, your body knows that something's not aligned and something is a little off, and it's just trying to give you information about it. And by telling your body, no, buddy, you're wrong. You had this automatic reaction, but you're wrong. Well, that doesn't really work. Why? Because the body did react. It's like telling it you didn't react, and then you're denying yourself. So pausing, just to connect with your breath for a minute and to let everything settle. Because for me, when I start feeling frustration or pissiness or something like that, it feels like noise. Like I think my heart rate goes up, my thoughts are ping-ponging all over the place. It feels like a lot of noise, and we need to get still and quiet so that we can just simply understand what that noise is trying to tell us, what is the information that we need to learn there, and then to be able to speak about it calmly without that intense emotion or anger that's there, because it's like acknowledged, I know that you're there, I understand the information, and now I can seek to understand the whole situation better and see if there's something I need to do here. Okay, so I'm finding the more I'm curiously observing my emotions, it's almost like this this sounds kind of funny, but it's almost like this conversation that I have with myself, you know, that technique, acceptance and commitment theory, and just distance yourself from the emotion or the thought, really, to distance yourself from the thought and be like, I'm having the thought that. So for me, it was like, I'm having the thought that I'm pissy. Am I? Where's that coming from? And to be able to examine it, but to have that almost like a conversation with myself, so it allows me to process in an incredibly emotionally intelligent way. That emotion is no longer controlling me. Rather, I can then make decisions based on what I'm learning about myself to have meaningful action and lead a meaningful life and have meaningful relationships. Oh my gosh. So much better when I'm honest with myself, when I take the time to hear myself, and then I can speak authentically about what's really happening. So that's it for today. Thanks for being with me on this journey. I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope it helps you too. I will see you tomorrow.